Hello everybody, welcome to Sports Federation TV. It's that time of the week where we again talk about what's happening in sport in the Western Cape. Fantastic show for you this evening. We're going to talk about kickboxing, and we're going to also talk tonight about archery. In studio with me is Marie-Louise Vermuelen. She's the Secretary General for Western Cape Archery. Marie-Louise, welcome back.
Thank you, JB. It's great to be in studio.
So we've obviously spoken to you quite a bit. Specifically online, but now finally we've got you back in studio. Are you guys fully back? Is archery shooting?
We are 100% back.
Yeah.
It's going pretty well. Clubs are getting busy and our tournaments are, full steam going ahead.
So the last time we spoke to you, we actually spoke to you online. You were in the bushveld somewhere.
Yes, I was at the African Field Archery Championships in Limpopo, and it actually went really well. Our team did fantastically. So now we are back. We're back to provincial tournaments. We have a field tomorrow, or field event tomorrow.
So you guys are shooting this weekend already?
Yes, we're shooting this weekend already.
Tell us about that. Where and what?
So it's taking place at Altyd Gedacht Farm. It's at a club called Hunters Archery. Yeah. They're mainly a 3D and field club, but they're hosting the field shoot tomorrow or this weekend, and then towards the end of the month, they are hosting a 3D field event as well, hoping to host the national 3D Sinifa field later in this year.
Okay. And how many competitors are you expecting there? Is it competitors from all over the Western Cape? Different clubs?
Different clubs, definitely. I think we're probably expecting about 20 to 30 different archers this weekend. Okay. Pretty big event for us.
All right, so we need to talk a little bit more about archery in the Western Cape and the clubs. But folks, what you can probably see in front of me here, and I'm going to have to give it to Marie-Louise, because in front of me is what looks like something out of Star Wars. Marie-Louise, just tell me, what have I got in my hand here? What is this?
Okay, JB, so you are holding a compound bow. This one specifically is a target compound bow. Where you're holding it, the brown part's called the handle or the riser. Then I'd almost say the long stick sticking out in the front, that's called your stabilizer. And there's one
I need
pointing.
to turn this so the cameras can see it. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so this is
maybe if we look again from that angle in front there we go, yeah.
Your stabilizer. This is another little stabilizer. The front one and the back one just need to be balanced to make your aiming a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Then over here we have our scope. It's what I use to aim with.
How far, what sort of distance are you shooting across?
So for target compound, it's 50 meters.
Okay, 50 meters. Just hold on one sec, folks. And then next to me here, I've also got, I'm going to put this down for a second. I'll take it that's the stand. Do you put that down?
Yes,
and then you rest it on the ground next to you and so on?
Behind us on the line. Yeah.
Okay. Are there rules, like you have to put it behind you in case it goes off?
Yes, you have to put it, it's I think 1 meter behind where we stand and shoot. That's where your equipment is. It's called an equipment line.
An equipment line. Okay, so the other thing that I've got with me that you've brought with is more stuff that looks like I'm out of Bad Boys movie or something, where I've got things strapped to my body with moon bags. This is obviously the other element of the bow.
Yes.
These are the things you shoot.
I can't do much with a bow without the arrows.
Right.
We don't ever dry fire a bow, so that means firing a bow without an arrow. Yeah. It damages the bow. And your arrows need to be very well suited to the bow.
So just tell me a little bit more about this that I've got in my hand, all these attachments, because this looks like something you strap to around your waist.
Yes, so it's like a belt, and it's called a quiver. Okay. And in my quiver, I'll put my arrows, and you'll see there's some pockets to put little things. Then what you're holding now is my release pouch.
Oh, so I thought this was placed for a water bottle.
No.
No? Okay. Because it looks.
That goes on the ground behind the line.
Marie-Louise, okay. So how many arrows are in here? Is there a limitation to how many you're allowed to keep in your bag?
No, there's no limitation. I think I have 10 in there, but we only shoot 6 at a time. So you must have 6 competition arrows, and then you'll always have 2 or 3 extras, just in case you have a miss or an oops or you break a knock.
So I'm absolutely blown away with how much gear you have to wear.
Yes.
I mean, we generally think of archery as some sort of Zen sport activity, and on TV you don't see this. You just see somebody very still shooting at a target. There's no focus on anything else.
Yeah, it's a very calming sport, definitely. But there's a lot that goes with it.
Well, I'm just thinking that you need to be particularly strong to be able to do this. I mean, firstly, what's got me is the weight. The weight of all these things. I thought that this is going to be a light little thing, but folks, I'm just going to show you quickly, and I'm going to ask Marie-Louise to hold it for us as well. Hopefully you can see this on camera, but what we're looking at here is a spectacular device. And what surprised me, Marie-Louise, was when I picked it up. And obviously I'm resting this on my on my leg here, but when I picked it up, and I'm holding it with the wrong hand right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm supposed to be holding it the other way around. So you would probably be able to demo this. But what surprised me was the weight. Is that to hold this up, I don't have the strength to hold it like you guys hold it for long periods of time. I mean, this must take a tremendous amount of training.
I think it's a little bit easier when you pull it back and the weight's balanced.
Oh,
I think
so you put the trick on me. Okay.
Well,
do you want to show us? There we go. Can you show us how it? I'll hold this front end up for you. Is that how you would hold it?
Yeah, that's how I would hold it.
Are you allowed to put it back indoors? Is it a?
I would do that, but I need an arrow in my release.
You need an arrow and a release. What exactly is? Well, I mean Okay, so you're able to hold that up there. What exactly is a release?
Can I take it out?
Yes, sure. Okay, so right, so it's that gadget that you hold in your hands and then you attach that to the bow.
Yes, so I would attach it to the bow.
Yeah.
This one just clips onto what we call a D loop.
Okay.
And then I will hold on to the release, thumb out of the way because I don't want the trigger to accidentally fire. And then I'll pull the bow back.
Okay, and then when you want to shoot,
then I slowly bring my thumb around, and there are different ways to do it, but I apply back tension, I rotate my hand a little bit, and the thumb trigger will go off.
It'll just go, okay. Yes. Look at that.
And then when it goes off, the arrow flies.
Wow. All right, and you're shooting this over 90 meters, or 50 meters?
50 meters.
Yeah.
Men go up to 90. My furthest distance is 70 meters.
Okay.
But most tournaments happen at 50 meters.
And when we see the Olympics in play, which bow are they using?
So they're using a recurve bow, or otherwise known as your Olympic bow, not this. However, they are considering this, I know for the LA Olympics.
Yeah.
But if they do consider it, it's going to be very different discipline to recurve archery. So recurve archery at the Olympics takes place at 70 meters for both men and women. They are talking about having compound archery at the Olympics, but then making it an indoor event. And indoor events take place at 80 meters. So they want to make the discipline completely different.
Right, folks, we're speaking to Marie-Louise Vermuelen. She's the Secretary General for Western Cape Archery, but she's also one of our top archers in South Africa. And we're super proud to have her in studio. We're going to talk a little bit about the competitions that are in place for archers in South Africa and how we're doing internationally in a second. We'll take a break. Do not go away. I'm going to see if I can practice my archery. Right, welcome back, everybody. It's Sport Federation TV. Marie-Louise, you're also the current South African champion.
Not current anymore.
Not current?
Unfortunately not.
Did you get beaten?
I was the SA champion in 2019. And
so how does it work? But I mean, did you have the South African championships recently?
We had one, but I came fourth.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I didn't win it this year. We do have a new champion though, and she's also from the Western Cape.
All right.
So for recurve archery, that's Monica de Jager. Yeah.
All right. Folks, we're speaking to Marie-Louise Vermuelen. She's from Western Cape Archery. We're talking about archery in the Western Cape. And Marie-Louise, you've been competing at quite a high level for quite a while now.
Yes.
When did you start archery?
When I was in grade 6.
In grade 6?
Many years ago.
So we have young adults or young juniors. We have juniors.
Yes, we have excellent juniors.
At what sort of age do athletes start? Folks, I'm just reaching over here to get the... I'm so excited about all this equipment. I think it's very dangerous. I wouldn't want to Coming to your house is unannounced. So yeah, you say that there are quite a few juniors doing archery?
Quite a few juniors, especially in the Western Cape.
Yeah.
And I find that the ones that do really well are the ones starting around age 10, 11.
Really?
And especially if they have very good parental support.
Yes.
Then they do really well.
So do you get different bows? Do you get like mini bows and lightweight bows for
Yes,
kids?
so if we're looking just at the compound bow, they come in many different sizes, much smaller, much lighter as well.
Yeah.
You even get little ones that like 5, 6-year-olds can shoot with.
And so I'm picturing this in my head now, that on a Saturday morning there's a bunch of kids lined up, they've got their moms and dads watching.
Yes.
And it must be a great way to calm the children down.
Well, keeping the parents away from them is a good idea.
Yeah.
But yes, archery is not really a spectator sport, but I've been amazed at how many parents and friends and family members have just been supporting their kids on the archery range, especially at our league shoots.
So we know that you're of course very involved in club development as well.
Yes.
What do you say to moms and dads from an advisory point of view when they want to start archery? What do they need to do other than first get the equipment?
Well, it's always important that they do continual lessons. We recommend once a week or once every 2 weeks. A lot of parents just want to buy their kids equipment, get them shooting, but then they learn really bad habits.
Okay.
And getting rid of a habit is extremely difficult. So building a really good foundation is what is key to having that child shoot for quite a long time and being successful.
So do you have drills, like different techniques? I mean, when we see it on TV and we're watching you guys shoot in competition, we simply see you standing with a bow, you're pulling it back, and you're releasing and shooting at the target. But I mean, when you were pulling and showing me your little release device, you were talking about turning your hand and turning your arm, and your thumb would then go. Are there different drills and sequences and strength exercises and things that are important?
Definitely. So I like working on a stretch band, and especially with kids that struggle with bow poundages, so how strong the bow is when you pull it back.
Yeah.
I like working with different stretch bands, giving them drills to do with that. So you can basically do the motion of shooting with a bow with a stretch band.
Okay.
So I do that. Then I have another device known as a shot trainer, but my kids call it the torture device. So it's something I attach around their elbow, and I attach it to the bow, and then they have to pull the bow back just with their elbow, not with their hands.
Yes.
So that teaches them to use their back muscle, not their arms. We do that. Then I have quite a few exercises that we actually do with the bow as a weight. So you'll hold it in your left hand, you'll pick it up, put it down, pick it up, and on the 6th one you'll hold it for 20 seconds, and then you swap hands.
Right. So I'm guessing that the majority of the competition success comes down to how you've made your body function.
Yes. So it's really important to build not only the big muscles, but you need to work on the little muscles as well.
Yeah.
So big, like little muscles in your forearm, for example, to help with stability when you're holding the bow.
Yeah.
So yes, there are a lot of drills. You can't just come to the range and shoot every day and expect to do well. Most of the success is in the bow training taking place, which actually does not involve shooting at all.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the club aspect. I mean, I don't want to let go of these things today. I think I'm going to keep them here with me, folks. I've got a whole pack of arrows with me, and what looks like a tool belt. And it's not a water bottle holder. It's a release bag. In fact, the climbing guys might even use something like this to put powder in.
Yes.
Am I
Very
right?
similar. Very similar.
Yeah. And what is this little gadget here? This looks like binoculars. No?
Not quite. Almost. It's called a rangefinder.
Okay.
So when I do field archery, then I range the distance.
Right. Okay.
So basically it's like binoculars. You point it at the target you're aiming at, you press a button, and it tells you how far it is.
So it's a little bit like someone who's playing golf might use, although they're not allowed to use it in competition, but if you wanted to measure your distance.
Yes.
So that you can figure out your distance like this.
Yes,
So
exactly.
it's the same as what someone in a construction site might use, is a little measurement. See, perfect for a builder or plumber. so tell me a little bit about the club competitions now. You've got clubs all over Western Cape, all over Cape Town. So how do you advise people to get started?
Make contact with a club, definitely. Okay. So we have some big clubs spread out through, especially through Cape Town, and they will all be able to assist.
Yeah.
It depends really on the type of archery. So there are different forms: target archery, field archery, 3D archery. Not all clubs endorse all of them, but some clubs do. So we've got clubs like Belleville Archery Club, which covers all 3 disciplines. But then we've got clubs like Hunters Archery, which covers field archery and 3D archery.
Okay.
Or we've got Protea, which covers target archery outdoor and indoors.
Yeah.
And then we also have an all indoor club, Bowtime, which is...
Okay, I'm sort of jumping ahead now because I know we're quite pushed for time. For Marie-Louise Vermuelen, what comes next, competition-wise, for you personally? I mean, you're challenging at the highest level.
Okay, so smallish, tomorrow or this weekend, I've got a field tournament. And I think the next big thing, there's a tournament in Gauteng in November, which is quite a big international event. I'm not quite sure of the name, but it's...
people coming from overseas?
People coming from overseas, and there are 4 slots in my division, and I'd really hope to make one of those slots.
All right. What does that mean for you over the next few weeks? What do you have to do to make one of those slots? Practice?
Practice a lot. Do quite a few tournaments because I need to shoot qualifying scores.
Right, okay.
In a tournament, not only in practice.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we'll get there.
And do you need things like sponsorship and have you got a coach?
I do have a coach. So I have 2 coaches. I have a local coach, and then I have a coach which is supplied by our national body who is actually Italian, Filippo Clini.
Right.
So every 6 months or so he comes to South Africa. Then we have coaching seminars, and then my home coach gets coached by him to coach me. And
you've also got Karen Holzer, former Olympian,
yes,
president of Western Cape Archery. I mean, to have somebody of her caliber who's been in the Olympics and played at the competed or played at the absolute highest level, it must be great also to be tapping into her knowledge.
Yes, definitely. Karen plays a very big role in her club, Protea. She coaches there. She's a really excellent person to learn from. Yeah, yeah.
So from an equipment point of view, let's wrap this up now. Do these things take special sort of caretaking or storage, insurance? What else do you have to do?
You definitely need to insure it. They're a bit expensive to replace. Okay. That's a good idea. Not many insurance companies cover arrows though, but definitely.
Do you lose a lot of arrows when you're shooting, or?
Accidents happen.
Accidents happen.
So silly mistakes like forgetting to move your sight when you've changed distances, or
does it go in the grass? Do you lose arrows in the sand?
Generally, you get unlucky and you hit the wood or like cement.
Okay.
Randomly.
You're right. Right.
Or if you shoot into an arrow, that happens. So if an arrow gets shot straight into the back of another arrow, it's called a Robin Hood.
Wow.
That actually damages 2 arrows.
Splits this. So 2 arrows, the one is going in there, really?
Yes. Okay. I've never done it, but I've seen it.
Okay. Are those things real that we see on YouTube and those kind of trick shots? I mean, does somebody really do that, or are they filming it 1,000 times and pretending?
I believe trick shots are real, but I don't know how many times they have to try it.
Have you tried trick shots?
Definitely not. It's not really a discipline that we have in the Western Cape, or I think in South Africa, but it's definitely very different to what we do.
Okay, so if I want to start archery, what's the first thing that I do? Find a club near me.
Find a club near you or email the Western Cape Archery Federation.
Okay, how do I do that? Have you guys got a website? Is there a place that I can go find you?
The best place to find us right now is Facebook.
Yeah, okay. So we just go look there for Western Province Archery, Western Cape Archery?
Western Cape Archery Federation.
Oh, of course, I'm Western Cape Archery, folks. Marie-Louise, so go to Facebook, look for Western Cape Archery. And that'll obviously point me to your websites and clubs and contact details, and I can message you directly.
Definitely.
Okay. It's been fantastic having you in studio, especially after all this online activity. We know that the last 2 years has been particularly difficult for athletes. I must say a big thanks to you, and congratulations to you and Karen Holzer for carrying the sport the way that you guys have done. It's welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's great to be back.
Folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be catching up some of the other sport codes in the Western Cape. Fantastic to have Marie-Louise in the studio. And just a final look, I mean, there are my arrows. And, of course, yep, the wide shot. There's the bow. Doesn't this look just fantastic? Go find a archery club near you. Go and look for Western Cape Archery on Facebook and sign up. Get started. Very exciting, very exciting. We'll take a break. We'll see you in a second. Don't go away.